Hello there! Welcome to devlog number 5 for our ever-evolving passion project Dungeon Mage. With our last devlog having taken a bit longer to put out, we already have more news to share with all of you, as development has not slowed down a bit. Firstly, I am hereby proud to announce that in the future I will be acting community manager for Dungeon Mage in most capacities. In addition, I will be taking a more executive role regarding the content you see here on YouTube, namely the devlogs I've already been narrating so far. I'm excited for what's to come and hope to fulfill my new role as best I can. Secondly, we are incredibly happy to say that community contributions have started rolling in for Dungeon Mage, and some have already been implemented. As of our last devlog, and a bit prior to that if you are already in the community Discord, we announced that community contributions can now be made by anyone interested. Enemies, music, sound effects, or just ideas, anything goes, and we are happy to see you be creative. And you have been creative. We have already been able to implement a few items that were suggested by different members of the community. The bubble pincher, the fire boots, and the spear in its various forms. The spear and its forms, ranging from its crafted variations, like common copper, to a special variant only obtained from enemies, inflicts a damage over time bleed effect when an enemy is struck. A versatile and reliably obtainable ranged weapon like the spear is sure to help you during dungeon exploration. The fire boots bring a hot and heavy twist to your combat, leaving behind patches of ignited ground as you walk, helping you clear out enemies chasing you down. The bubble pincher is an odd lobster claw that the player can obtain as part of our reworked fishing loot table. With its unpredictable ranged attack, it is a bit of a wild card, but the risk pays off when the bubbles make contact with their target. Speaking of fishing, we have taken another look at our current fishing system and have decided it's our next target for a long and continuous content overhaul. With the bubble pincher, you've gotten a first sneak peek at the unique loot you will be able to obtain from fishing. But loot isn't the only thing we've reworked already. Going forward, fishing requires you to use bait, which can be acquired throughout the dungeon from different sources. Better bait naturally means better catches, so stay on the lookout for the next creepy crawler that could decorate your fishing rod. We're continuing to flesh out the system by adding and diversifying loot as we continue Dungeon Mage's development. Similarly, we are always working on fine-tuning item drops from enemies and chests. Furthermore, we've decided to add a quality of life feature that makes combat feel a bit more predictable. And, more importantly, consistent. Going forward, enemies will display a simplistic but informative health bar above their head. If they have one. Finally, we've implemented a system that acts as a form of crafting currency. Whenever you venture out and defeat enemies, you will retain part of their essence in the form of residue. Residue will automatically be added to a counter that keeps track of the amount you have collected. When back to base, you will then be able to use your residue to create new and improve existing gear and items. With this system, we hope combat will always feel rewarding, even when the little mage doesn't quite make it that far. If you want to support Dungeon Mage and its development, consider wishlisting the game on Steam. Additionally, giving the video a thumbs up and commenting your thoughts on these changes is highly appreciated. If you want to see the changes in more detail and even before these devlogs are released, consider joining our Discord. There, you can also leave your ideas and contributions to the game. Thank you so much for tuning in to the devlog, and we'll see you in the next one.